Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
Ricky Gervais never holds back, and his recent comments have left people debating whether they were offensive or just a good, old-fashioned joke. Known for his sharp humor, the British comedian doesn't shy away from calling out celebrities, especially those he believes use their platforms irresponsibly or without real knowledge. His critiques often target Hollywood's woke culture, which he sees as more about ego than making a real difference. At the Golden Globes, Ricky's mention of Jeffrey Epstein stirred up mixed reactions from the audience. While some celebrities looked visibly uncomfortable, Adam Driver seemed to be enjoying the roast, laughing along with the rest of the crowd. It's clear that when Ricky takes the stage, everyone knows what's coming, his biting humor and no-holds-barred critiques of Hollywood elites. Whether people find it offensive or hilarious, one thing's for sure, he always gets a reaction.
To make your own way here in your own plane, didn't you? Once upon a time in Hollywood, nearly 3 hours long, Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him.
One thing is certain, Ricky knows how to own the stage. When he's at the podium, the room braces itself for the next celebrity roast. There's an unspoken rule in Hollywood. When Ricky lands a joke, you laugh along, or you risk looking like the only one who doesn't get the joke. Even though some might find his humor harsh, it's hard to deny how well he handles the spotlight. It's mean, yes, but it's also entertaining and, in a way, reminder that no one in that room is untouchable.
Stop saying that joke's offensive.
Yeah.
I want him to start saying I found it offensive. Because that's all it is. You're just telling me how you feel about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing intrinsically offensive about this joke. It's trying to make I'm offended.
It seems you're referring to a moment involving Leonardo DiCaprio at the premiere of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is a film that runs nearly 3 hours long. During the event, DiCaprio was seen with a much younger date, which quickly sparked conversation. Ricky Gervais, known for his sharp humor, couldn't resist poking fun at the situation with his typical wit. He joked that DiCaprio had to make his own way here in your own plane, alluding to the actor's lavish lifestyle, and then humorously remarked that by the end of the night, his date might be too old for him. This type of playful roasting is exactly what makes Ricky's comedy so distinct. It's not just about laughing at celebrities, but also highlighting the absurdities of their high-profile lives with unapologetic humor. The moment became one of many examples of how Ricky's sharp jabs leave Hollywood celebrities, like DiCaprio, blushing or even in discomfort.
Know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you...
Leonardo DiCaprio looked visibly flustered during Ricky Gervais's monologue, sporting what can only be described as the classic guilty as charged expression. But Ricky didn't stop there. In a later interview, he directly addressed the backlash over his so-called offensive jokes. Ricky explained that his comedy isn't about targeting individuals maliciously, but rather exposing hypocrisy and challenging societal norms. He emphasized that jokes, by nature, are subjective. Some people laugh, and some take offense. That's the beauty of comedy, he argued. If you don't like it, don't listen. But don't try to silence it. For Ricky, the point isn't just to make people laugh, but to provoke thought. Whether his critics see him as offensive or refreshing, he's unapologetic about sticking to his style. After all, as he often says, if it doesn't hit home, it won't hurt.
No, he must mean that, right? Like a joke is a window to the comedian's true soul. That's just not the case. Our take on any view to make the joke funny.
Ricky Gervais's philosophy can be boiled down to one key idea. Just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right, in his view. Feeling offended is a personal reaction, not an objective measure of right or wrong. You can't change the facts just because they make you uncomfortable. However, Ricky doesn't just stop at personal offense. He broadens the discussion to societal hypocrisy. His infamous comment about companies like Apple, Amazon, and Disney, suggesting they'd even work with a terrorist organization like ISIS if it made financial sense, shines a light on how celebrities often align themselves with corporations that contradict their publicly espoused values. It's a biting critique of woke culture, where stars claim the moral high ground while benefiting from systems that perpetuate exploitation. The takeaway? Ricky challenges everyone, celebrities and audiences alike, to reflect on their actions instead of just their words, exposing the contradictions in an industry that often preaches what it doesn't practice.
Next presenter starred in Netflix's Bird Box, a movie where people survive by acting like they don't see a thing. Sort of like working for Harvey Weinstein. You did it. I didn't. You did it. Shut the f*** up. Please welcome Sandra Bullock.
Gervais has made one thing abundantly clear. Most celebrities are out of touch with the real world. They haven't experienced the struggles of the working or middle class, so their attempts to use their fame to push beliefs or agendas, often without proper knowledge or understanding, come across as hollow. And honestly, he's got a point. Ricky's comedy thrives on this premise. He believes jokes are fair game, and if they offend someone, that's okay too. But as he often emphasizes, being offended doesn't mean blowing things out of proportion. To him, the real issue arises when people overreact instead of simply accepting a joke for what it is, a joke. Ultimately, Ricky's stance resonates because it's rooted in common sense. Laugh if it's funny, reflect if it's truthful, but don't turn it into a spectacle.
Room are some of the most important TV and film executives in the world, people from every background, but they all have one thing in common. They're all terrified of Ronan Farrow. He's coming for you. He's coming for you.
Ricky Gervais's humor often circles back to a recurring theme, distinguishing between jokes and real harm. He challenges his audience to think critically about whether words, especially jokes, are truly damaging when measured against real-world problems like war, poverty, and injustice. One moment that stood out was his announcement of Sandra Bullock's award for The Blind Side. Ricky cleverly used the opportunity to call out Hollywood for its tendency to ignore serious issues within the industry. He highlighted how people witnessed atrocities happening but chose to stay silent, turning a blind eye to the very injustices they claim to stand against. While Ricky's mantra may feel repetitive to some, his ability to weave biting humor with uncomfortable truths ensures his message lands every time. It's not just about making people laugh. It's about making them think.
Was snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very...
Ricky Gervais didn't hold back when he called out Hollywood for its double standards. He criticized celebrities for using their platforms to speak on whatever trendy topic suits them, yet remaining completely silent on real issues they often have first-hand knowledge of. He pointed out how, when it comes to serious matters harming people, their silence is deafening, as if those problems don't even exist. A perfect example, Ricky noted, is the ongoing P. Diddy cases. These allegations, now coming to light after years of being hidden, raise serious questions about how such things were covered up for so long. The industry's complicity and failure to act speak volumes. Ricky also mentioned Ronan Farrow, the journalist known for exposing Hollywood's darkest secrets, including the offenses and crimes many celebrities work tirelessly to bury. By shining a light on these issues, Ricky highlighted the glaring hypocrisy within the entertainment world, an industry that loves to preach, but often turns a blind eye to its own faults.
It was the role she was born to play, because she loves nothing better than plonking herself down on the carpet, lifting her leg, and licking her own mind.
In the room were a mix of shock and disbelief, with many celebrities looking genuinely stunned that Ricky Gervais got on stage and said all of that, completely unapologetic and with zero hesitation. One of the most unforgettable moments was Jonathan Pryce's reaction. His expression looked so bewildered it almost seemed like he might drop dead on the spot from being indirectly called out. But Ricky didn't stop there. He took aim at Hollywood's lack of diversity, calling out the industry for being performative and ignoring minority groups when it comes to awards. After glancing at the list of winners, Ricky bluntly said he wasn't at all surprised by how little representation there was. It was another hard truth delivered in Ricky's signature style, forcing Hollywood to face its flaws in front of a live audience and the world.
Me as the creator of The Office? No, you don't, do you?
You think Steve Carell did it all? Oh, he's brilliant, isn't he, Steve Carell?
He's amazing as the bumbling office manager. Where does he get his ideas from?
Tom Hanks has become somewhat of a meme thanks to his candid facial expressions during Ricky Gervais' infamous Golden Globes monologues. He often looks like someone who's just been called out, a mix of guilt and disbelief, as Ricky lays bare Hollywood's hypocrisy. Whether he agrees with Ricky or not, his reactions are priceless and have sparked endless online discussions. On the other hand, not everyone was squirming in their seats. Chris Evans, our beloved Captain America, seemed to thoroughly enjoy Ricky's sharp humor. His big, genuine smile said it all. He's clearly on the side of Hollywood that can laugh at itself. While Ricky's jokes might stir controversy, it's clear that some stars, like Chris, appreciate the reality check and are unbothered by his unfiltered truths. It's moments like these that show where the real divide in Hollywood lies. Those who can laugh at their flaws and those who can't.